G'day, I'm Roy Thomas, and in today's video, we're going to talk about the 9 factors you should consider before you decide whether or not to add your children to the deed of your property. In my practice as a real estate agent working with a lot of seniors, I see sometimes that the kids have already done that. There can be advantages or could be disadvantages. We're going to talk about the 9 things today you need to consider. So let's get into it. Number 1, when you add your kids to the deed, they do have legal ownership and control of the property. That means they get involved and have a say in all decisions such as selling, mortgaging, or even they have to agree to have themselves later removed from the deed of the property. Number 2, joint and several liability. Co-ownership of a property means that each party is jointly and severally responsible for all the debts of the property, a mortgage, taxes, insurance. They will now have a liability to pay those, or could have a liability to pay those debts or obligations against the property. Number 3, there could be mortgage implications. If there's an existing mortgage on the property, the lender may want them added to the mortgage, which may mean they are subject to creditworthiness. So that's a factor to consider. Number 4, title arrangements. How will you be taking title of the property? There's 2 choices, joint tenants or tenants in common. Typically with family, it's going to be joint tenants in most cases, where it means that when one person passes away, the rights of ownership of the property immediately pass to the surviving owners. So for family, that's generally going to be the option you want to use. There's also tenants in common, which means when one of the owners passes away, their share of the ownership goes into their estate, and the other owners retain whatever ownership share they have. That's probably not going to be something you want to use, but if there's a unique situation in your case, it may be something to consider. An interesting benefit is you can bypass probate. Typically, when someone dies, if the house is just in their name, the will has to be probated before the house can be sold, mortgaged, or basically anything done with it. This could take anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple of months to accomplish that. If you have your kid's name on the deed, as soon as you pass, they own the house. It does not have to go, the will does not have to be probated before they can choose to sell the property. So if your wishes is the property to be sold, money split between your kids, it can be listed prior to the will having to be probated. You have to consider potential disputes. Co-ownership can lead to disagreements about property decisions, maintenance, what's going to be done to the property. One person may want to do a renovation while another may not. Use of property. How's the property going to be used? As owners, they do technically have a right to live in the property. So you want to make sure that whatever decision that be made in the future, you're all in agreement with. Creditors, number 8. Co-ownership exposes the property to creditors of all the owners. So if there's a risk your children may get into financial difficulty, their creditors could view the property as an asset and potentially try to go after that property. And future planning. You have to consider for life changes. What happens if one of your children gets married, gets divorced? That could have an effect on the property, so you want to take that into consideration prior to go ahead and doing it. So the question is, there is no simple answer to whether or not you should or shouldn't add your children to your deed. I see a lot of cases where it's done. There can be benefits to it. If you're considering doing it, I would suggest you do consider these points and talk to your lawyer and make a decision after you tell your lawyer what you're hoping to accomplish and get a legal opinion and get it done properly if you choose to go ahead and add your kids to your deed. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a shout. My name is Roy Thomas, Sutton Group Professional Realty in Halifax. You can reach me at 902-497-3031. Check below in the notes for my contact information. And while you're there, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified of all future videos. Thanks very much. Have a great day.